to have your presence. We are excited to share with you things that are going on in Newberry, Florida tonight at our annual State of the City event. So we are going to kick things off with a recognition of guests, and of course all of you are our guests, but I had a few, and I want to make sure that we get them from the Alachua County Board of County Commissioners. Mary Helen Wheeler, there you are. From the Gainesville Area Chamber of Commerce, their CEO, Eric Gaudet, is somewhere. Good. From the Alachua County Sheriff's Department, now unfortunately Sheriff Watson had a prior commitment and is unable to join us tonight, but Under Sheriff Joel DeCourcy and Chad Scott are both in attendance. Would you raise your hand? Thank you all for your service to our community. And then I think we are going to an invocation, and Pastor Rocky McKinley is going to perform that for us tonight.
Let us pray. Father, first of all, we thank you for our city. Lord, we thank you for our mayor, commission, and all our city employees. We are truly blessed to be served by this. Lord, as you told the prophet Jeremiah, we pray for the peace and prosperity of the city to which you assigned us to. And so tonight, Lord, as we hear an update on our city, we just want to be sure to give you all the praise for what you're doing here. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Rocky. So, as a municipality, we conduct a number of events each year, and I have to tell you that the State of the City is one of my favorites. Those of us in the city that spend every day, every week of the year working to serve our 8,076 residents, well, we're familiar with our accomplishments from last year. Some better than others. My memory is not what it used to be. And hopefully we have a pretty good idea of what we're planning to do the coming year. Hopefully. But most in the community don't have that day-to-day opportunity to get involved and understand all the things that are happening in Newberry, Florida, like staff does. So the State of the City address is our opportunity to share with our residents all the things that we have worked on or will be working on. So, before I go any further, how did you like the taste of Newberry? Please express your appreciation for the following businesses that participated. We had Woodyard Grill, Villaggio's Pizzeria, 1906 Farmhouse, Stonehouse Neighborhood Grill, Arepos Milko, and Sugar Refined. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. Did anybody, Travis, did anybody else get missed? Got them all. Sweating that. And I'd like to, we're joined tonight by our city commission. I'd like to just mention that Commissioner Tim Martin is unable to join us tonight. Apparently, there's a thing going on with high school basketball. We may be in the regional finals, and Commissioner Martin may have a part-time job as their announcer. So excuse his absence tonight, but he's absolutely have a worthwhile cause on his hands. And anybody that we missed, I know that's an awkward question, but in terms of dignitaries, if you consider yourself a dignitary that I missed, please raise your hand. AJ from the Newberry Fire Department raised his hand, so please recognize firefighter AJ. Finally, I'd like to thank our Parks and Recs personnel, Parks and Recreation, and facility staff for their efforts. An event like this, we start planning on 3 months ahead of time, and then the week of, lots of effort goes into turning a building into the nice venue that it is tonight. They coordinated the food, It's really a big effort, and they do such an excellent job. I just could not be prouder to work with these professionals. So please extend some thanks to our Parks and Recreation Facilities this month. So now I get to introduce tonight's speaker, Mayor Jordan Marlowe. But it's 9.5 years. I'm still working on it, and we'll practice some more. Honestly, you can all attest that Mayor Marlowe needs no introduction. He is by far the most visible man in our community. He is a true public servant that is tireless and gives of himself every day so that we all enjoy a better life. So whether you're teaching 7 AP classes to our future at Newberry High School, and someone still has to tell me how you can teach 7 classes in a 6-period day, but I just assume he's running back and forth between 2 classrooms during 1 period. Or whether he's coaching the myriad of youth sports. And if it's not football or boys basketball, I think boys baseball maybe. He's on the coaching staff somehow, somewhere. So every day when school's out, Mayor Marlowe is at some practice helping our youth recreate and learn that trade better. Mayor Marlowe is also, if he's not doing that, hard hats. That's what we forgot.
Everybody okay? Check.
Well, I've lost my place. I'm going to start again. So in addition to all those things, he's also out there planning and taking our students, the Newberry High School students, on an annual trip to Europe. I'm sure that's not a fringe benefit. I know it's a lot of work, and keeping up with 20 kids all over Europe must be a very tiring job. He works on special projects, spent a lot of time and energy working on a Truth and Reconciliation project in our community. We're now working on a Veterans Memorial Park. We have a committee, but Mayor Marlowe is a driving force behind it all. Some of you may have heard that Newberry is the greatest Christmas town in all of the known universe. Inspired by Mayor Jordan Marlowe. And the list goes on, and if you could tolerate me, I could go on. Mayor Marlowe is the hardest worker in Newberry, and he inspires an entire city staff to do more for our community. His greatest skill may be his most underappreciated one. He is a terrific consensus builder in our community, and that skill has an immeasurable value. If you look around the state and you work in local government like I do, the significance of getting a board and a community to build consensus and drive programs in a certain direction, be flexible, willing to sacrifice what you may think is best for the greater good, that is a very talent. It's very much a talent that Mayor Marlowe possesses that we just don't appreciate often enough. And I just want to tell you that I acknowledge it and I recognize how much work he puts into that. So we are indebted to Mayor Marlowe, and I recognize him as the best mayor in Florida. Now, I know that this all sounds like, well, Mike is the biggest suck-up in all of Florida. But I'll remind you that Mayor Marlowe is a non-voting mayor. These are the guys that I really need to suck up to. If you all would join me in welcoming Mayor Jordan Marlowe.
Well, I thought that I was humbled by the presence of all of you tonight, which I truly, truly am. But hearing that introduction had me blushing over there. So thank you, Mike. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would indulge, I want to respect your time. I know you're here, but if you'll give me a personal moment before I begin. I often get asked how I find a couple extra hours in the day. And you all have heard me tell you very truthfully that the answer to that question is I have the most amazing wife, the most amazingly patient wife, on the face of the planet. But there's another answer to that question as well that I have never had the chance to say publicly, because the only person that I know who is busier than I am is my father. And I want to take the opportunity tonight to say that I have had a role model in my life, someone that I strive every day to be. I will never get there, but it is the image that I look for in the mirror. He is the person that has taught me to work hard for my family and my community. So if you would, please allow me to introduce you to my father, Herbert Marlowe Jr., the man who has inspired me. Thank you. I'll get back on my job now. I wanted to start tonight by admitting that on this night last year, I went off script. I admit it. I was compelled to take us on a trip down memory lane and look at how we have become the city that we are. So I told myself this year, I needed to get back to a more traditional state of the city speech. So, in that vein, I was tasked to tell you statistics, like how we logged over 167,000 hours of labor on behalf of our community in 2022. That is amazing. I wanted to tell you points of pride, like how one of our firefighters, Kevin Farr, received a Valor Award for bravery. Give him a round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. You make us proud. I was going to brag about how our facilities department partnered with our Main Street organization, the Newberry Area Chamber, to put Newberry on the map, receiving recognition all the way up to the Florida Department of State for our Make Newberry the Christmas Capital of Alachua County initiative. It's not often your city gets bragged on by the Florida Department of State. That's an amazing accomplishment. Thank you, Main Street and the area, the Newberry Area Chamber. I promised myself that I would focus on our finance department receiving yet again the highest national certificate of achievement for fiscal accountability and transparency with your money, while at the same time launching the Newberry Florida Connect app so that residents have a one-stop shop for all of Newberry's needs. I said to myself, make sure you rave about our building department who almost quadrupled the amount of commercial building fees coming into the city of Newberry, while at the same time implementing a commercial corridor overlay district to ensure that we are keeping our city beautiful and attractive for generations to come. In short, I told myself to keep it on track. After all, you all have very kindly given up your time to come hear me talk about our city and all that the people who work for you have accomplished. You deserve to hear about how Dallas and his team came to the commission and asked if they could freeze disconnection and late fees while the utility market was in such a state of flux that it was creating an undue hardship on our residents who were struggling just to keep up. Dallas, where is Dallas? Dallas, thank you, sir. And please tell your team how much we appreciate their heart for the most vulnerable residents in our community. And honestly, guys, I tried to write that traditional speech. I really did. I was 4 pages deep in celebrating not just the completion and installation of our advanced metering infrastructure, a 3-year project, but also the educational campaign that happened to help our residents learn how to use it to save money on their utility bills. The links that our employees went to help residents learn how to use AMI exemplifies, captures the spirit of why Newberry is special. I was in the middle of a story about a woman who ended up in tears when our staff showed her how to use AMI to cut her utility bill in half. It was a moving story. But, you see, I had an epiphany when I started writing, a realization that shook me so much that I had to throw out the speech that I was on. And guys, I'm just like my students. I hate doing that. But I had to, because as painful as it is, I have to admit that I have been doing this all wrong. So for all of you who have faithfully endured these addresses for all of these years, I owe you an apology. I am so sorry you have a mayor who is so slow to catch on. As I look back on all these addresses, I finally had to admit that I have just been missing the mark. Now, personally, I think the problem's in the title, State of the City. It implies a reflection on past accomplishments in order to paint a picture of a current state. But Newberry never holds still long enough to paint that picture. It's tough. It's a moving target. I understand that we're here tonight and we need to celebrate what we have accomplished, like increasing participation in our Parks and Rec department by 20% while adding entirely new services like Newberry Nitro. Fantastic job, Travis. Where's Travis at? Where's he at? Good job, sir. Well done. I get that you need to know what we've done, like renovating, restoring, and renaming the Mentally North Fleet Municipal Building. Also, great job, Travis. Well done. It's beautiful in here. Do you agree? Great job on the floor. But honestly, I am done looking at the past. We are simply not going that way. The past is only important in the measure that we are willing and able to learn from it to build a better future, because the future is where we are going. The future is what we are building. And that's coming from a history teacher. I'm allowed to say it. So if it doesn't help us understand who we are and where we are headed, if it doesn't help us build that better future for our children, then I'm going to leave it where it is, in the past. For example, in my very first State of the City address, which I want to point out was delivered at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. I think we can all agree we're thankful that we've learned something from the past. In that address, we were all collectively celebrating the residential growth and the services that growth would eventually bring to us. 5 years later, as Newberry gets ready to welcome Publix into our community, we can see the fruits of that labor. But the lesson there, the lesson that we should take from that, is that the good things in life, like pub subs, those take time and determined, sustained commitment. You have to see it through to the end. That same determined, sustained commitment to enhancing our residents' lives has brought, all within the past 5 years, Newberry Nutrition, Hardwood and Honey, West End Pharmacy, Stonehouse Grill, BIM Fitness, AAA Porta Potty, Country Way Storage, 1906 Farmhouse, Urban House, Mr. Rooter, Domino's Pizza, Joel's Coffee House, 3D Barbecue, Filipino Flavors, Arepas Milko, Angry Bird Art Studio, Sycamore Lane, PortaServe, Firearms Depot, Stacy's Bombshell Salon, Top Shelf Cabinets, Woodyard Grill, Archangel, Mirror Salon Studio, Greenfield Nursery, 1776 Amro, The Briar Patch at Boyd Farms, Hippolyta, Great Nail Spa, I Rise, Performing Kids Academy, I Gotta Take a Breath, Woo. Coleman Plumbing. I'm hoping that any of the Facebook scholars out there will note that actually only one of those places was pizza. You're going to help me out on that. You're going to help me out there. Seriously, I actually should pause for a second, because I need to ask any of the ministers, any of the Newberry's members of Newberry's Ministerial Association in the house tonight, if you would go ahead and say a little prayer for me, because we all know that I just messed up and started naming names. And guys, I know that I missed a ton of other businesses that have opened up in the last 5 years, but look, folks, we could be here all night. Okay? I'm trying to be honorable of your time. The lesson in remembering just how many commercial businesses have opened up in the last 5 years is learning that the work and vision that brought them here is also going to be responsible in the months ahead for bringing Bev's Burgers. That one deserves an applause. Area Rugmaster, Iliano's Coffee Company, NC Beef Butcher Shop, Tortillas Tex-Mex, the longest zip line park in the state of Florida. Excited about that one. Mitchell's Specialty Meats and Bakery, Life Soils, Capricious, New Cycle Energy, a company that could become Newberry's largest employer, all while helping to save the planet. And of course, say it with me, Publix. Got to get that pub sub. This commission made a commitment to increase services and encourage job growth in our community so that our children don't have to leave to find those services or leave to find a job that pays a living wage. We recognized that the only way to sustainably do that was to encourage affordable residential growth. In the last 5 years, Newberry has built 631 houses. 631 houses. Not quite the 6,000 that you hear on Facebook, but that's a lot. It's a lot. But in that same period of time, in that same 5 years, we have also issued 124 new business licenses. I told you I didn't name them all. Now, I had to get Dallas to check my math because that's the one subject I don't teach. But that's one new business for every 5 new houses. That's one new business for every 5 new houses. The course you set in electing these commissioners, the vision they have cast to all the men and women who work for the city, the talent and expertise of our charter officers, Mike New, Judy Rice, is materializing right before our eyes. The future is not just before us, it is being guided by us. Tomorrow isn't happening to us, it's happening because of us. Our vision, your vision, is coming to life, and that is a lesson from our past that should guide our steps into the future. In that same speech from 5 years ago, we challenged our manager to renovate and revitalize our fire department. We wanted all the latest technology and equipment our team needed to respond to and save the lives of our residents. And that night, we dreamed of the partnership with Alachua County that would bring the ambulance to our community that we so desperately needed. Not even 2 months ago, right before Christmas, our fire department, under the leadership of our new chief, Mike Vogel, welcome. Give him a round of applause, sir. You haven't done it yet. He's doing a very good job. They responded to an emergency, using brand new state-of-the-art equipment to extract a woman from a vehicle in record time. They got her into the ambulance that is now stationed at our fire department, at our newly renovated fire department, and they saved her life. And we could tell those stories all night long as well. Chief, please tell your team how proud we are of them. And to our manager, I say, Mike, job well done. Mission accomplished. To our commission, I say, thank you for sticking every single year and every single budget cycle to the vision, to the mission. You've never wavered, and I will always be grateful for that. To Commissioner Wheeler, I say to you, ma'am, the county commission played a crucial role in saving that woman's life. Thank you. On behalf of a grateful family, thank you, and on behalf of a grateful community, thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the lesson there is that we get more. Our residents get more. Sometimes their very lives when we partner with each other. I know partnerships are hard. We don't always agree on our dais or with other governments. But, and Pastor, I may need your help on this one too. We aren't commanded to love just the people we like, right? Just the people who think like us. That would be easy, right? We also have to love the people we don't like. Do I have that right? Yeah. Thank you. I just like to check. Sometimes I play a pastor on TV, but I'm not one. In the same way, elected officials aren't voted in just to work for the people who voted for them. I don't know if the woman whose life was saved was a Republican or a Democrat. She could have even have been a libertarian. I just know that she is alive today because of a partnership that was forged 5 years ago. At Newberry, we are getting good at partnerships. 5 years ago, we committed to saving our agricultural heritage. We wanted to support our farmers. We cast a vision of pioneering an ag tech research park. Since then, through a partnership, we have saved Canterbury for our 4-H and FFA youth. We have brought the UF IFIX extension to our community. And as part of the visioning sessions we did with you, this commission recommitted to ensuring a green belt of undeveloped agricultural land around our community. At the beginning of this year, Commissioner Anna Prizia learned about our vision and reached out to us from the county dais to seek a partnership to reimagine the meat packing industry and work in tandem to explore the creation of a small regional plant to blaze a trail for small local farmers to market their meat and maybe, just maybe, even make a profit from their cattle. Imagine a world where farmers make enough money from their cattle that they're not tempted by the first developer that comes along and offers them money for that land. In that world, that green belt around us will stay forever green because it will be profitable to do so. The lesson in that partnership is in the fact that the county came to Newberry. The county reached out to us. That means that the county sees that Newberry is a community that once we cast a vision, knows how to stick to it and bring that vision to life. They see that Newberry wants to and knows how to work together. As we speak, Newberry is partnering with the county not just on exploring the meatpacking facility, but also on a recycling facility, a fire training facility, and an actual plan to fix County Road 337. See what we really care about out here in Newberry, right? Publix is one thing, but 337, a whole other ball of wax. It takes a long time, folks, to build a reputation as a community that wants to work together both inside and out. It takes determined, sustained commitment to being open and willing to think outside the box, look for ways to help each other, work together, to care about each other's needs and goals. We can take those lessons. I'm going to change that. We have to take those lessons beyond things like partnering with the school board to resurface, widen, and beautify and connect Southwest 15th Avenue to 337, which also will happen under Jamie's guiding hand in the next year, and apply those lessons to issues like saving our children's lives. In response to learning that Alachua County had the second highest rate of adolescent opioid addiction and the highest rate of adolescent suicide in the state of Florida, this commission chartered the Newberry Opioid Task Force. For the last 18 months, that task force has met with cities from across the county 2 times with each city. They have now successfully led an effort that has united the county to stand as one community for our children. With the combined strength of our cities, our county, the Children's Trust, and our schools, which are this year being trained to be Rad Kid schools, which teaches kids not only how to recognize dangerous situations, but also how to deal with them, how to respond to them, we will save our children from a life of debilitating addiction. Commissioner Cornell, when voting in favor of the Children's Trust joining this effort, he said in response to having an opportunity to become part of something that has never happened in Alachua County before. Alachua County has never seen this many cities unite, financially unite, join hands, and work together. He said, and I quote, "This is the model. This is the way." Now, I'm not sure if he meant to, but anytime you can quote The Mandalorian, you know you're on the right track. You know you're on the right track. This is the way. And I couldn't agree with Commissioner Cornell more. This is the way, and Newberry is leading it. When Tallahassee changed the rules and doubled the cost of our new wastewater treatment facility, we had to find another way. That way simply could not be to double the cost of wastewater for our residents. But because we have learned lessons from our past, the way forward was partners. And now Newberry, the city of Archer, and High Springs are working to join together to save our mutual residents money by building a regional advanced wastewater facility that will protect our environment and serve 3 communities for 20 years into the future. Future. That's where we're headed. That's what we are building. Working with Tallahassee, we will double the amount of commercial offerings in our downtown while increasing the flow of traffic through our community with 2-way pairs. We will improve our roads by turning 15th into that beautiful landscaped boulevard with long turn lanes to get to the elementary. For all of our kids, we like to go to. That's where we're all. This is the basketball game. We will connect 15 to 337, create a grid so that our traffic can flow. For years, we paved 30th Avenue, South 30th Avenue, to give our eastward options beyond Newberry Road. Just kind of dropped that one on you, Mike. Make a note. Text Jamie. We will also expand City Hall, bringing all of the services our residents need under one roof for your convenience. We will continue to provide the highest level of service at the lowest cost to our residents of any community in this county or out of it. And we will continue to recognize that we can do all of these things because this commission remembers tangibly in every budget cycle that the greatest asset for our residents is the dedication and commitment that our employees bring to this community. When we take care of them, they take care of the rest, like bringing $6.5 million in grant monies for that regional wastewater facility in the last 9 months. That's got to be worth a round of applause. $6.5 million. That's impressive. Just about 30 million more to go. No problem. We can and will do all of these things because we have looked at and studied our past, not with a stagnant longing to return to some romanticized image that never existed for all of our residents equally anyway, but with a willingness to learn what the past can teach us to build a better future for our children, a future where they can all flourish and prosper. Our past has taught us what happens when we work together and what happens when we don't. It has shown us that there are no limits to what we can accomplish when we act as one united community. The past is only important in the measure with which we are willing to learn from it. And because we have shown a willingness to learn from our past, I am calling tonight for the creation of an official Newberry Historical Society, not just to preserve our history, but to ensure that we keep learning from it. I'll reach out to you. Part of that history is Newberry's rich and enduring legacy of serving in the United States of America's military. Our children must learn those stories, and they must see with their own eyes how much Newberry values the men and women who serve in uniform for this country, the men and women whose service keeps us free and allows us the privilege, the freedom to debate whether we should pave this road or that road, whether we should expand City Hall this year or next year. That's a privilege that people living in war-torn countries would love to have. Towards that end, it is my pleasure to announce, and I'm going to disagree just a little bit with Manager New here, but it is my pleasure to announce that Newberry will build a Veterans Memorial that every man and woman in uniform, every citizen in our community will be proud of. Now, I've heard it said that if you want something done right, you ask a Marine. So here today, I'm asking a man who has served this country in war and peace, a decorated combat veteran who honorably served with distinction in the United States Marine Corps. Will you lead that effort and make sure we get it right? Newberry, we have an exciting future before us, full of possibilities. The sun is rising on Newberry. Everything that is in front of us is because of everything that is behind us, but it is time to embrace our future. We have worked for it, and it is time for us to walk boldly into it because the state of our city has never been stronger. Now is our time. God bless the men and women who are serving in the military and our first responders. God bless our teachers who have their own war to fight now. God bless America, and God bless Newberry. Thank you all for coming. Drive safe and good night.